And welcome back to ESG Tour Mykonos, presented by Betway. The crickets are in full song right now. It's very late here as we head into the end of our first day, almost into our second day, but with one game left in Group A. It is, of course, the game that we all thought we'd end up having, but we didn't get there quite the way we thought we would get there. It's SK versus Gambit. We're back with Lurpis and Thorin to break things down as we head into the game itself. We did get there in the end, Duncan, but it wasn't quite the way that we thought it would all pan out, with a tough game for SK in that last round. How do you think Gambit sat there watching that?
I mean, Gambit won obviously fairly easy in their game. It was pretty good for them. So if you Gambit, like, while on one hand, yeah, if you think you're as good as they were in Malmo, maybe you think you could beat SK anyway. You certainly will think to yourself, like I said, since they beat Mars Sports in Malmo, hey, if we play those guys again, we'll beat them. Also, you know, they looked good, but SK was looking so weak early, so you can't even know, oh, were they really crazy good? But I would feel quite annoyed right now, because now it looks like SK basically took half a map off and then suddenly warmed up, got to sort of championship form, and now they're coming right into this match immediately, whereas the guys from guys from Gambit, rather, have to warm up again, get back into the game, probably play a different map, you know, so... Sure. A lot of kind of moving pieces for the Gambit guys. Yeah, and it does make a difference sometimes. I mean, some teams are... We've always had this argument, Tommy, where you go... Some teams prefer to carry on playing because they get better, like Virtus.Pro are a very momentum-based team. They like to play one after the other. And then there are other teams who like to have a break and not play one after the other. And then Gambit might be that team, as Duncan said, they might be that team that would have preferred to have carried on, maybe.
To be honest, I think it's 100% in your head, because I think it honestly makes no difference whether you warm up or not. I think as long as it's somewhat similar between both teams, I think it's perfectly fine. Obviously here at SK now, they've just played a very long game, had some extra time. But, I mean, at the same time, Gambit's been in the practice room, so it's just they're basically just moving their mice over to another room. So it's not that big of an issue. I think it's only in their heads, but then at the same time, like... I mean,
that can be a big deal if it's in your head.
That's what I'm saying. Like, SK is definitely, I would imagine, more strong mentally.
Depends though, you've got to find a way.
They've just had a tough game as well. They've gone to overtime, haven't they?
For me, this is how another test of the in-game leaders, you know, because if I'm Gambit, right, I would say in theory, objectively, you probably actually get a weaker place, I'd say, because SK has just warmed up, they've figured out some of the problems they have, they go to the next month. If I'm the Gambit guys, I thought, nah, this is perfect, we just watched them play, they didn't have time to study us, you know. You've got to figure a way to sort of spin it, you know.
That's how you sell it.
We always used to joke that this is one of the things that Khan, the classic Fnatic in-game leader, was really good at, is we used to, because we were messing with him, used to say he was like the master of propaganda, but in a way he was, because even though there's no objective truth to that kind of statement, it's a way to reframe it in your players' minds. Yeah, we're at the advantage here, even when either it was a dead even situation, or he could even do it when they were at a disadvantage. Like, well, even though they've won all the tournaments, we did beat them twice, and they only beat us once, so we're better than them. Which is like,
we beat the guys that you lost to, so therefore we're better.
He knew all the equations, you know.
I mean, even in game as well. Sometimes let's just take tactical pauses during pistol rounds and eco rounds. Sure, I mean, Khan was one of those, the masters of that. As we head in, we'll talk about Gambit, and we've talked a little bit earlier on today, but for those that weren't with us, we'll recap a little bit. Obviously, the major champions right now went to Malmo. Everyone was wondering what they would look like without Zeus, and actually Fitch looked great. He looked good again in this first map today.
No, he was one of the better players for their team in that game. Had a bunch of impact rounds. Got a lot of entry kills on the T side of Mirage, which is where they basically already closed out the first map against Heroic. I mean, so far he's looking like a great pickup, and like we talked about earlier, just kind of curious because he really wasn't on the map before this.
Yeah, come out of nowhere, really.
For people who aren't aware, the key concept here of why you could win the major and yet people could potentially expect you to not even get out of the group stage is because it's one thing to lose like a good in-game leader, but their entire style was basically defined by Zeus. You remember when he joined this team? Yeah, there were a couple of players different, but they were a team where, like, if they made out of group stage, if they even made it to a major, that was cool. Yep. You know, that was a big deal for them. So to go from that to winning a major, you can see that guy was instrumental. So when you lose a player like that, and you don't actually recruit another great in-game leader, you just have someone else in the team say, well, I'll take it. Well, that's like I said earlier. Usually you don't really like it when a guy has to do that, you know, tax his game. Maybe he's not even going to be dedicated to the role anyway. So if they do go on to become a very good team again, it's going to be a very different Gambit, that's for sure.
Yeah, and an exciting Gambit as well. They're very dynamic in their match. SK, we've obviously only just seen them play. They come back straight away to play again, nicely warmed up. I think at the end of that match, we definitely saw them, their star players kind of wake up.
No, I mean, they won, I think, 9 straight rounds from, I think it was 10-15 and 19-15. Coldera must have gotten something like 10 kills in this final round.
Boost your CSGO skins on HolyBoost.com.
Fer was playing well towards the end, despite starting very, very slow in the first 20 rounds or so. I mean, this is not the team you want to be playing against. You wanted the team that Mouseboards had on the server for the first 20 rounds. This is not the team you said. It's like, as someone tweeted after the game, it's like, I think I just saw SK go from vacation mode to like major contention mode over one map. Like
vacation mode to vac mode, perhaps. Could be that. Thing is, I actually think if you look at that performance from SK, this particular iteration of SK usually wins, in my opinion, kind of by brute strength. They have so many talented players. The stars go to kind of their spots on the map, their roles, and they beat you up. That was more actually like the old SK, or kind of like Astralis now, where that was like a championship win, where not all your players were at top form, but because your players know their roles so well, someone like Taco, people like Phelps at certain points in the game could carry you to get to the point where Cold Zero could come and take over, you know. That's kind of like how a team like Astralis wins. It's not always just one player. And so you think of kind of the lineup they had before. Maybe that was something they were lacking a little bit before. They had to just blow you away to win the game.
Okay. I think it's time we checked in with our betting guru once more. He's been on the money most of the day. A couple of little hiccups here and there, but for the most part, it's been very good. So let's see what advice he's got for our final game of the night.
Well, Paul, Gambit have been nibbled in the betting just before this game. Just before we came on air, they were at 2.37 in the betting. Now they are at 2.30 with Betway to beat SK Gaming. I quite like that. SK Gaming available at 1.50 if you think that they're going to show a little bit more than they did against Mousesports. I wasn't really convinced with that performance. We saw them struggle early on, obviously a brilliant comeback, whereas Gambit very solid against Heroic. I think Gambit can go toe-to-toe both in terms of fragging power and tactical nuance against SK. I think both teams will be quite satisfied with the maps, and whilst I'll definitely be backing Gambit to win the match at 2.3 that they're available now with Betway, I'm also going to be nibbling at the plus 3.5 handicap, which means if we get 16-13 or better to Gambit, to SK, or Gambit get there in overtime as well, that will also cop, and that's available at 1.90 with the sponsors. Over to you, Paul.
Okay, good stuff. More good info. I'm not sure about the dancing, though. It's getting worse.
It's becoming his thing now.
It's like Saturday Night Fever now. It's like...
It's his thing.
Yeah.
It is late into the night.
It is late into the night, indeed. Thank you very much, Luke, for all the betting advice today. So we know the favourites are now. It's going to be SK Gaming. No surprise there.
Sure.
But do you feel maybe like it's not as wide as it might have been had they had a dominant victory over, had they dominated Mousesports and Companies? Do you think maybe the gap would have been wider, or do you feel like maybe it doesn't really matter between these two?
I actually think that for this one, what makes it tough is, first of all, Gambit's been in good form. They've been getting all these wins and beating good teams recently. Then you've got to add in, even though they've done that, no one really still knows like the map pool of Gambit, for example. I always think to decide matchups, you really got to know where it's likely to go, and then what the strengths for each team are. I know entirely for SK the strengths and where they want to go. So Gambit is still a mystery at this point in time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's what makes it tough.
Yeah, we're going to see the map vetoes actually at any moment now. So, Tommy, we usually end up in the middle of the pack for both teams for maps. Where are we going here?
Let me see. I think actually two maps we could potentially see. Maybe we might see Cobble. I think that could be one. Not sure if Overpass might be in play. Probably not. I think Cobble could be.
I think Mirage possibility as well. Again, I don't see why SK would avoid it. You know,
if Gambit feel comfortable enough on it.
Like maybe they want to learn something early, because don't forget these two could still meet in the grand final.
Yeah, that's certainly possible.
No, and Gambit probably do feel comfortable going up against Virtus.Pro should they finish second in this group. So that's probably not a big feeling. So let's see. So Inferno
I see. It's
goes
finally
there first.
actually working where it was supposed to slowly roll in like that. But before it had to just spam
like a jackpot machine.
It's okay.
So Gambit got rid of
It's going to be
Cobble.
Mirage, I think.
Oh, Mirage removed by Gambit.
Oh, right, yes.
Okay, so we end up with an overpass.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah.
So not bad.
Don't know if anyone can hear that.
Right, the dogs are out.
As long as not a lot.
We should finish this off quickly before we get eaten.
Hit the music.
As long as it's not a lion.
So, overpass.
Like, this is a tough one because, first of all,
it's tough map for Gambit.
Yeah, Gambit. This is another one where I thought was really defined by having Zeus. I thought he was a massive part of them being able to win this map. Then you've got to add into the equation that you think in your brain still that SK is so good on this map, but I've seen them lose so many since they made this switch to Phelps on this one. Yeah. So I think this is one of the toughest ones to call, actually. Like, I think actually on this one, I'm tempted to go with like say that Gambit will win it.
Really?
I've just seen so many weak points from SK to the extent that since they're such a smart team, I feel like they're a team where they can make mistakes, but if I see them routinely making them and then they try different things and they're still I feel like that's like that. Well, that's the definition of a map you can't play. Basically, that means that something within your DNA of your team or their mindset, their styles of play doesn't quite fit that map, and something doesn't vibe on here. One of them is Fallen. Like, there's a reason why he was the best player in the world on this map, and then he's never really gotten back to that form again with an AWP. In fact, we didn't see too much AWPing from him on the last map before. He's kind of become a rifler at times when they have to go low econ. So I'm kind of feeling Gambit to do this one, actually. I think, obviously, we've seen Mo have a great performance against Astralis on it. He kind of won them the major, in my opinion, on that first one. You know that someone like Hobbit, Adren, very, very stable fraggers. So I think the CT side can be very good from the guys from SK. Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and amazingly, fans, I'm going to predict the underdog to win this one and risk wearing a shirt that says new.
Yeah, have you seen this, Tommy?
Exactly,
we haven't shown you this yet because
I don't know.
You did? You saw it?
I did.
See, this is to be worn by the loser. Can we get on
pretty
camera?
good
There
on
we go.
Duncan.
This is to be worn by the losing analyst, the one with the worst predictions over the 4 days for the first map of the grand final. Not really something you want to be wearing.
I can't believe there's actually I've just realised as I'm saying this, the element is obviously called Nobelium, right?
Yes.
I thought it legitimately was Nobelium. I was like, that's just childish. Who named that? Who named that? Because whoever invents it gets to pick the name, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I should have been a chemist.
Yeah,
Boost your
maybe.
CSGO skins on onlyboost.com.
Yes, you got it. The pressure's on, and he's kind of giving you an opening here.
Listen,
he's giving because you've tied up so far because you've both picked the same thing. So.
Well, I obviously have to go for SK. There's got to be some separation here. We've agreed on too many matchups so far. There's got to be some separation.
Yeah.
Just give me a window. I mean, to be fair, he laid out the argument exactly for Gambit. Mo was the main one, I think, for me, because that's the X factor. Fallen hasn't been playing that well with the AWP lately, especially at Overpass with Phelps on the team. Like you said, they just never clicked the same way as they did with the ult lineup. So I think most the X factor for Gambit here, and then the other question is, like you said, whether they actually have a new style on it without Zeus.
Yeah.
Okay. So why SK?
Yeah, still the better team, probably. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good reason, right? Okay, he gave the reason for my pick.
Yeah.
SK is the better team. They have way better players. They have championship material. They probably will win this tournament still, Paul. So actually, SK will clearly win this one.
This is obviously a newfound analytical way of doing predictions.
Bad, right?
So we fixed it, right? You pick a team, the other guy has to justify it. That's brilliant.
It's not bad.
How did we stumble across this? This is a perfect set of predictions. All right, so we're going to go one each this time. It's the first time today you've actually split. I can't believe you have gone almost an entire day agreeing with each other.
I'm giving away some of the trade secrets here, but I do say things to
trigger. Duncan,
I do say things to trigger fans sometimes. So if SK actually wins this game, I will make a clip of just the part where I said SK will win and all those reasons, and I'll just say, "Well, called it, guys," and I'll put it on Twitter. I won't put any of the part before, okay?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, no problem. I like that. 100% correct predictions ever.
That part was right.
Works perfectly. All right, okay.
If you predict everything, you can't be wrong.
Yeah, no, that's true too.
Well, you can't be wrong, but you'll at least be right.
Exactly, yes.
Yes. Exactly, I think I'm still with it anyway. It's like, and these two are talking complete nonsense right now, but I love it. Thank you very much, Thorin and Lurpis. We are almost ready for our final game of the day. So let's head back to our commentary team for this final game to see who reaches the semi-final. Is it SK Gaming or is it the major champions Gambit? Let's find out.
Thank you very much, Paul. We're now back here in the commentary booth, and I'm with Harry, and we're pretty excited to get this going, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm excited to see will the Kazakhstanians triumph over the Brazilians, or have they Gambit off more than they can chew? I mean, it's an interesting one when we look at it. I think the fact that it's Overpass, that's really interesting to me. Of course, we never got to see Gambit and SK play at the major, but Gambit, they beat Astralis on this map in the best of 3 that they played. They looked good there. I think I don't think there's any disputing that. It's such a good map for Astralis. I think that's quite important. But they did have Zeus back then, and he was kind of the difference maker, right? For SK, this isn't an amazing map. It's one they've been struggling on a lot as of late. I think that's kind of what they all agreed on over on the desk as well. Say desk likely. It's kind of some chairs by a pool, but. Yeah,
who do you think? Who do you think, Harry? Because I'm siding with Thorin on this one. I think Gambit are going to take it.
I was going to say Gambit too. I don't want everyone to be bandwagoning this, so I'm going to go with Tommy. I'm going to say SK.
Oh,
just to be contrary.
Well, you do have to remember that I have 100% correct predictions on the analyst list so far. So you're not following me. I'm very sad about that.
Yeah, well, that's good reason. A broken clock is right twice a day, and you've been right twice, so let's... This should be your limit. And anyway, into this round, we got Fur pushing up through connector. Now going to be waiting in the corner there for him. Fitch lines up the first. Fur flicks back and going to be looking for the second. Does manage to get it. Better late than never. Two-man advantage for SK there. Is now they go charging in towards the B-bomb site. There's only Doja here to try and keep them at bay. There they go pushing on in. Smokes off heaven. Adren's worked his way through into the back line. Hobbit now rotating in. The bomb will go down for SK. And Adren, he's been spotted. He's been tagged and fallen. Looking to try and finish things off. Adren just kept back 4 HP in a dream. And there we go. He's going to fall short. Hobbit and Doja all that remain. 2v5. Damage being done. Doja hits the deck. And Hobbit, this is a little bit too much for him. He's going to go down as well. A flawless pistol around there from SK. With the bomb plant as well as a cherry on top. That is going to be... our first round to go their way.
It's very hard to win a pistol round if you can't hit headshots with the USPS. It's as simple as that. Gambit doesn't hit it this time around, and they discussed it on the desk. Of course, SK Game will have a bit of an advantage, having warmed up in that map we just saw. Gambit, of course, had a bit of a break, so they'll probably need a couple of rounds to get back into the game. But then again, like, we are on Overpass, something that they talked about as well, we did as well. Something that they haven't really liked as much after the addition of Phelps. In this current iteration of the lineup, they only played 16 games on it, and let's say a map like Cash, where they played 29, and Mirage, where they played 26. So this is definitely not a map that they enjoy as much as they used to do. But Mo here doubles up Doja with the headshot onto Taco. A nice pistol start, and we do see this a lot, where you just force up with the pistols and just straight up run over the opposition on that T side. The CT pistol's just so strong if you can hold a close range angle, and now it's all on Phelps and Coldzera. Shut down. This is about to be a perfect pistol round coming out of Gambit.
Oh. No.
Almost, almost. Jinxed it, of course.
Can I add an... Yep.
Of course, jinxed it.
Not like this! Phelps, come on! Oh. Okay, he managed to get the first.
And
hey,
of course,
that's all that matters.
jinxed it. Not a perfect round anyway. But nice round nonetheless. Always nice if you can buy up pistols and just straight up take out 4 UMPs and an AK-47. Good stuff coming in from Gambit. Fitch, definitely the new player coming in there. Doing lots of damage. So did Mo. Good start. Getting back into the round straight after losing that pistol. Now both teams investing heavily into this one. Money still to spare on Adren and on Mo, but the rest of the team buying down. SK Gaming 100% bought down, so we're going to see an execute from them. Lots of utility on Fallen. And now we're looking at them to see, where's the execute going to go? Good damage though.
Fitch going to catch a bullet early on. All right, in the noggin, and now Phelps is making his way up through connector. Taco peeks around this smoker. 2 players pushing down through short. Taco's position brilliantly to shut this down. Rubs shoulders with Adren, and then Adren finishes him off. Man advantage for Gambit.
I'm pretty sure that was a fake. The rest of the team should be setting up towards the A-bomb side. But as I say that, Fallen has actually rotated in T-spawn back towards B. So I'm curious what's the plan is now.
Yeah, well, they lose the man down over towards short. That was Taco. Suddenly, you know, they actually have no one to fake onto the B-bomb site. It's not worth going for it. And actually, I mean, it's going to work out well for them. Gambit predicting that this will be a fake of starting to rotate players off. The 2 men within the B-bomb site. It's Doja being boosted up here. Oh, sorry, he's the booster, not the boosty. It's a Hobbit who's up there instead.
I have a smoke and a Molotov as well on this T side, so they can definitely get something done. Probably will be able to get the bomb down in this one, and then it's up to Gambit to retake it correctly.
Yeah, you're going to be looking at Fur ready to try and pick this one up. He has to get that. If Hobbit gets one, he has to get the trade back in return. If he's on the entry, they should check this. It's a very common angle to check. Failing that as well, I mean, the second Hobbit, if he misses, then he has to get down from there. They know that the boost is up. The flash rains in. That's an easy plant here for SK. Going to be afforded that at least, and that flash is perfect. There's so many targets, target-rich environment for Phelps. He only gets 1, as Hobbit does manage to shut him down, gets the trade, and that could have been the turning point of this round. Now it's the 3v4 in the retake. Rest of Gambit charging on into the site, making their way on through. Coldzera holding this off, playing around the pillar. Does manage to take the first, but Hobbit, king of the trades right now. Adren steps up. It's all on Fallen. He lands the first. Going to go back for more. EnVyUs is coming in. Can't quite deny it. Fitch finds the frag. Does have a kit as well. Plenty of time left for that one. Gambit going to get themselves a second round there. But
Boost your CSGO skins on onlyboost.com.
Again, it depends how ballsy they're feeling, but pause called in.
You kind of feel like with that pop flash and the UMP 45 player pushing in towards Graffiti, if he had gotten more than just a single kill and the damage that he got in that situation, you feel like the round could have gone way differently. If he picked up 3 kills in that situation, which was very, like, it wasn't a hard job, but of course it's very hard when you come into a situation you expect 1 player and then C3 to just adjust on that. But if he could have picked up 3 frags, round would have been totally different and obviously probably would have gone towards SK, but Gambit in the end make it happen. And we are, of course, in a tactical pause here. Just waiting a bit. Always nice if they have, of course, they're playing with the new pause system. They have a lot of pauses at their disposal. Just want to correct some early stuff in the game. Very nice. If it works, of course.
Yeah, of course, I had some time now to discuss what it is they're going to be buying into this round. It looks like we're going to be seeing 3 rifles. Cold and Fallen, sacrificing that for the UMP with nades behind it. Nice bit of utility into this round. They have a full belt for both Fallen and Cold, and Fur has himself an extra smoke as well to bring it to the party. Just the question now, where do SK stick this utility? Looks like it's going to be down here towards B. They have Cold Zera. Waiting over in mid. The Molotov goes down to deny Fur any presence, and actually 3 players seizing control of Connector early on. Cold comes jumping down, but wins that duel. Mo hits the deck. The trade tries to come through from Adren, but damage being done back and forth. It's the aggression that could come back to punish Gambit here. Good night, Adren. As Fur peeks out, Phelps within B, able to take himself one. Doja does manage the trade back, but it's still a massive 2-man advantage for SK. Bomb planted. And now Doja and Fitch. Fitch being the latest addition to this squad. They're the 2 that remain. And yeah, he's going to be the first man down. Doja 1v4. It's a tall order. And he will just opt to play things safe. SK Game are going to get themselves their second round here. Doja might be able to find some damage on these players. Fallen. Oh, whoop. There you go. Still the second round secured. That risky force buy pays off. They've upgraded all their rifles. Anyone who was on the UMPs now with a rifle in hand as well. Fantastic stuff from them. And the money on the side of Gambit will facilitate a force buy up into this round. They save the rifle, and that's the main kind of caveat that allows them to get away with it. Adren can drop one, Doja can drop as well, and that's going to be the whole team pretty much kitted out with rifles.
Well, that round, of course, came pretty much down to the aim duels there in the beginning. The 2-man advantages they got early on was 2 aim duels that could have gone either way. It wasn't like one of the players had a big advantage. It was pretty much a 50-50 duel, but both of them goes SK Gaming way, and then it's very easy to just do a simple execute towards that B bomb site. They make it happen. Very snappy on the mid-round decision, of course, from Fallen, making sure that, okay, we got the advantage over towards this bomb site. We make sure that we just push that advantage and make sure we can get the bomb down and get into a post-plant situation. And that's what the 2 opening duels pretty much give them. Even though they have the weaker rifles, arguably with the 2 Galils, they still make it work. That's nice to see SK Gaming very, very good at resetting themselves. Only having the Galils in play. And right now, slow round from both teams. SK Gaming just slowly edging their way, covering the entirety of the map, at least on their side of it. Not really taking much map control from the CT so far. They'll be able to push in towards short A and take some map control there, and then eventually set up for an executed app, if that is the way they want to go. Right now, the CTs aren't peeking at all. He's holding defensive postures, making the Ts make mistakes.
They've tried their hand at mid. They've got the attention, and now the out of SK going to be falling on back over here towards B. Looks like Taco, he's the man at the forefront of this invasion as they're ready to head on in. He's the spearhead behind this one.
Dosh is alone right now on B. Adren is rotating, and he'll be on the side when they hit, but if they hit a bit quicker, they could actually have isolated Doshi on this bomb site.
They've only got 23 seconds. They have to be fast here. The time just working away from them. You're going to be relying heavily on Phelps. He was insane on the previous map. He's got to be even better right now in this take. They've only got 14 seconds. Going to try and smoke it off, but it's Doja who could make all the difference. Does manage to take the first. The trade comes in from Fallen. Mo up in heaven. The bomb plant will come in. Fur's holding the aggression from behind as they start to mop this one up. It falls onto Hobbit and Mo, but Hobbit's already in the site. Mo's watching from above. Fur spotted him there, playing around the pillar. Good night to Hobbit, and now it is just Mo. 1v3. SK Gaming poised to pick themselves up a 3rd round here. Mo going to be sent reeling back. Looks to try and save the orb. Misses that shot. Doesn't need to repeat this. Fulham will take this up all day long if he can. No one going to come his way. It will be SK, and with their third, the AWP carried forward for Gambit as a bit of a silver lining. And that's actually if he doesn't get hunted down mercilessly here by Fur.
I think Fur has to push in all the way right now, and he has to guess the correct position. Will he have time? No, he won't. Just in the nick of time, he escapes the Gambit player and brings that AWP into the next round. But it has to be the Catalyst AWP because none of his teammates can buy into this one. They're all around 2K apart from Dosia, so they'll not invest into this, I think. They'll just play the one CZ. Oh, actually, a deagle coming in for Dosia. He can afford it, so it's fine. But the rest of the team won't be investing into this. He need around 2K to buy into the next round. So one AWP on Mo. He has to make the difference here, and I think he's going to go for an aggressive play. But look at this. The straight-up B push is coming in for SK, and Gambit has stacked aggressively towards A.
Yeah, they're going to get this B-bomb side entirely for free. Walston on in. The only man who's in any danger is coldzera. Players very quickly about to start coming in from all angles. He does suspect the play out through mid. Reading this perfectly, and actually he's going to try and position to shut this down. Gets caught out in the open, finds the first, goes to decapitate another, and that's going to be Hobbit to hit the deck. Gambit's priority now. Trying to deal with coldzera. He's a man on his lonesome, but he's also a man on a rampage. Oh, not done just yet. Adred offers himself up, but there we go. Head comes off. That's some damage done at least for the cleanup squad is in, but Mo is here. But now they know what that AWP is, and that's just rung the dinner bell. You can see SK charging on in. They want to try and take this AWP out the hands of Mo if they can.
Yeah, they're timing this one correctly. They know they have a lot of time, and they know exactly the position where Mo is at right now. SK Phelps coming around the corner, spamming the walls, and he'll get him in the end. Mo goes down. That's another round on the board for SK Gaming. 4-2 now. Getting some economy as well. Do see 7K before buying here most of these players. Falling with 6.7 after buying as well. So definitely some economy being pushed together here from the SK side. Gambit buying up, but this is not a great buy from them. They don't have an AWP. They only have one flashbang for each player, and no kits either. So not the best buy of all time for Gambit here, but they definitely need to get something done because the SK won the last 3 rounds in a row, and they need to stop them before they just run away with this first half.
And now Dread's been boosted up here. Utility just pours into connector for SK. They swing that door open. Doja and Hobbit in a great spot to shut this down, because even if they pre-fire one, oh, never mind, that tower of Gambit players is just going to go ahead and come down. Instead, relying on Hobbit to hold the aggression. Has support from Adred now up on short. This B-bomb site relatively locked down. They're going to try and deploy the boost. Hobbit spotted him. Damage being done. Now the peek comes in from Phelps, but none of that helps as Hobbit backs himself into the corner, takes the time to reload, tries to face off against Taco. Crosshairs right over him right now. Going to go for the spray, and there we go. Good night, Taco. Damage being done. Hobbit still darting around in the fire and flames down here over towards short. The crossfire between him and Adren proving to be too strong, even though it has been the Hobbit show up until now. Adren peeks out, doesn't get anything done. Hobbit buying so much time. Mo's come in from behind. Fallen though. He's out on B, and this could be a disaster. Gets caught crossing if they don't find the frag. Oh my god, Fallen gonna drop Fitch. Now it's the 1v1. Bombs down in connector. He's gonna be afforded it. Fallen can go ahead and get himself the bomb here. The wrap round coming in from Mo. Could catch him off guard, but it could also provide the foot in the door that Fallen so desperately needs. Has to be careful. The timing allows him to survive. He has to be cautious because Mo's right there. Goes in for the flick, but Mo wins out the clutch in the 1v1. And that is Gambit to get themselves a third. But that was incredibly close.
Really nice from Mo as well. Keeping it cool in that situation. He knows that Fallen is in a spot where if you peek him, he's going to win that duel. He's so warm, he's so confident in that time. So you have to place yourself in a kind of position where you can take him like in the back and just get that backstab in, and he doesn't really have a chance. So if he goes for the long flank, it's a very risky move, but in that situation, it's the absolutely correct move. So nice game sense by Mo getting that done. And also, like, SK Gaming, the plan in that round one wasn't actually that bad. So they wanted to take connector control and then do a split A. That was why Fallen was coming into Monster in the end and actually wasn't that bomb site. But Gambit was so ready for it. They had 2 stacked towards short, and we saw Hobbit coming out with the big plays. So they had the perfect counter to what SK Gaming wanted to do that round and just shut them down completely. It's so nice to see a team like Gambit just just read their opponent so well and come up with the perfect plan to stop whatever SK Gaming throws at them, because SK are not a team that's easy to anti-strat like that and to counter like that. Awesome to see it from Gambit, but SK Gaming, they were so close. Individual actions from Fallen coming in, almost saving them. But now we're back into the fray with Gambit and SK.
Starting to make their way down through short this time. SK a little bit more decisive in their decision to take control of this early on. Oh, but it nearly gets spotted there. Phelps, itchy. Trigger finger doesn't manage to find the frag, but they get the information. 3 players right now for Gambit down on the B-bomb site once again, as it seems to be the one that SK are gravitating towards. Hobbit's boosted up, but he doesn't spot anything. Both the players just out of sight of this boost ever so slightly. In the meantime, aggression down from Long, going to be the order of the day from Gambit. They're actually to send Fitch on out. If he tries to go any more aggressive, could potentially catch Cold and Fallen off guard down in mid. The rest of Gambit still residing over here in this B-bomb site. It's a battle for B right now as SK, they've rotated everyone else back round. He's looking to be the first man in. Primed and ready over on short. Bomb. And Cold over at Long, but Adren takes the peek on through. Doesn't find anything with the Mag 7. And Cold Zera going to pounce out on a Doja. Now it is just Hobbit. He stepped up massively in the previous round. Has to do it again, but this time he's going to fall at the first hurdle. The call to save comes in. Fitch and Mo backs against the wall in this round. Looks like Mo's going to try and shove to the party just for the sake of being there. Does some damage, but that will be it.
Such an unlucky round for Gambit because they do so much damage. They take Fur down to 11, they take Taka down to 17, and Cold Zera down to 43. But doesn't really manage to kill them when they actually need to. Nice from SK just to come in and get the aggressive pushes in towards the B bomb side and take that bomb side as quickly as they can. Not caring about the damage, but actually caring about how many men they have alive to do that push, to make that happen. And Fitch might not be allowed to save him. He will be shot down. That's Fur taking him out as Mo is all on his lonesome with the AWP. Not going to get anything. And 5 rounds now for SK. And we're going to see another pistol, maybe force, or just a general force here, as they already have around 1,500 apart from Fitch. And with the Catalyst AWP, I would expect them to force around this, and they are doing that. There's no real reason to do anything else, because you would not have a full buy in the next round anyways. You would have UMP 45 as utility or M-Force without utility. So they do go for the force here. 1 AWP, 1 UMP 45, CZ to the rest of the team. And let's see if Gambit can make this happen, or SK going to take a round number 6. Would be very impressive here on the T side of Overpass.
Mo's taking the aggression over in mid. There are 2 players out in Park, but he turns his attention into middle. There is a man there. That's Cold Zera taking the peek. And Mo just lying in wait. Ready to pounce on out. Oh, spots the head, doesn't land the shot. Cold allowed to survive another day. Rails back with the bomb. Counts his lucky stars and doesn't want to re-peek it anytime soon. It's Fallen. Finds that frag. And it's going to be Mo to go down. Wants to keep trying his hand out into middle, but isn't going to be gifted anything just yet. Although you say that, Fitch, he's waiting here, and Fallen has their shot lined up when it comes through. Going to be holding the close angle with the CZ.
Fur is about to push in as we switch to him. He has to position up towards Long, so he can either push in toilets and get the frag onto Fitch, or he can pop flash over and get the frag onto Hobbit, but Hobbit with the CZ 75 shuts him down. Now Fallen has to come in with a revenge frag. In the meantime, Fitch shuts down Phelps. Fallen finally, oh, he's not actually, he's missed the shot. Fallen doesn't miss that.
He choked more then than you did on your own words.
That was insane.
Adren has himself the AWP to play with. Doja holding the close angle, takes the first, make it 2, gonna go back for a third. Fallen's there, does manage to find it. And this round just got very scary for SK. 1v2, Fallen has himself the bomb, but he's only got 15 seconds. Rest do you believe in this clutch right now? 1v2, player pushing up through short, gonna be Hobbit. Adren into the side, Fallen lines them up, and he's gonna do it, takes all 3. That's 4 in total, the hat-trick for him at the end. Wins that one out in a 1v3, and SK, that is going to send a message indeed to the side of Gambit. They are not here to play around. Fallen pulls it together when they need him to the most. And SK are going to go 6-3 up. What do you do if you're Gambit on the back of that?
That was a really, really good clutch coming up from Fallen. Coming on the back of a couple of missed AWP shots, switches to the AK-47 and clutches the round. And that's just the kind of a player that Fallen is. Even though he needs resistance, he'll be able to just block that out mentally and just go straight back into the round and win it. Nonetheless, it was a good round for Gambit. They only had an AWP and a UMP-45, the rest were pistols, and they still managed to get into a 2v1. They missed in the 2v1 in the end, and now trying to get back into it, of course, cleaning house here, taking out Hobbit. Low HP and Fitch as well. And this is just a pistol round for Gambit, so they're not expecting a lot from this.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is right now for Gambit is that if SK do stuff like that, that just helps their confidence so much.
Yes.
And SK are a team you cannot let get confident. I mean, these guys are already just filled to the brim with confidence, right?
Yeah.
And now they're going to come into this. You just saw Fallen get an epic 1v3. The buy going to be coming in from Gambit, and this is where they have to stop that momentum building up. They have to pick this round up just to put SK back in their place. You know, let them know this isn't going to be an easy game where they can just walk over their opposition.
Yeah. And Gambit knows this. They know that they have to step up the game right now, or else SK Gaming are going to run away with this first half. SK actually, funnily enough, going for a full AK setup here. So that's telling me that they're probably going to go for a quick push. Right now it's looking like a quick B push, as we do see the Molotovs and the flashes raining towards the bomb site. Try to utilize the speed here of the AKs. Taking them out of control, Coldzera faking towards mid. And then the rest of the team setting up for the execute, the split towards B.
Look at this play from Mo, though. He's all in the back line. If he's a little bit quicker here, he could wreak some havoc. Cold has a sneaking suspicion that something's up. Mo's there, and Cold going to find the frag.
That is insane game sense.
On the back of this, Adren's rotated in through connector. He's looking to try and deal with the threat that is Coldzera, but that's not an easy task to try and handle. Cold comes down. Adren wins the duel. First man dropped. Back into the 4-on-4. Now the push comes in, Tack over to find the first. Fitch trying to trade things back, fully blind. In the meantime, it's going to be Fur who gets the trade, but it's Hobbit and Fitch between them. Leave this now in a 1v2, and surely it's not going to be another clutch for SK. This time, it's Fur to try and step up. Starts to make his way into the site, has more time to play with, but down goes Hobbit. Now it's all on Fitch. And Gambit, they're close to throwing another one of these away. 1v1, the latest addition to Gambit. Task with trying to go toe-to-toe with Fur.
So much pressure.
There's 25 seconds left. Fur's playing this one very safely. He has to be methodical, but he has to be fast. Time is working against him here. The bomb is down. He can get it from where it is. Fitch watching this from Graffiti. Takes the peek out. The timing doesn't quite spot him. Fur's going to be holding the angle, and Fur finds it once again. A 1v2. And SK managed to clutch it out against the overwhelming odds. 8-3 right now. And Gambit, they've got to be feeling a little bit dejected now. SK, they are brimming with confidence. They are looking fantastic, in form, and a force to be reckoned with.
That's 2 rounds in a row that Gambit should have won. Let's be real here. It's great coming in from SK that they have the individual qualities to win these cultures, but Gambit should be shutting this down. It's absolutely insane because they're just giving SK individual 1v1s in that 2v1, just peeking different angles. I would rather have them actually wait for the bomb to get planted and then retake together. Fallen now picking up a Dren. This is just a pistol round, but still. SK having... It seems like they pretty much have the number for Gambit right now on this T side. They know how to shut them down, how to push them, how to get everything done.
This is what I think they would have loved to have happened at the Major. They never got the chance to play Gambit, but... This for them is kind of that shot of saying, you know, if we had played you,
this is what would happen.
This would, we would have been the Major winners. But you know, maybe that's not the case.
All right,
timeout called on in.
This is interesting because this is a timeout called by SK because they know that Gambit are going to have the full buy here, so they're kind of like thinking, okay, either we'll have Gambit think a lot about how they're going to hold this because we take the timeout, and then they expect that we do something different than the defaults we've been doing, or else what they're going to be doing is they're going to. I would love to see this right now. SK Gaming just going for a quick B push. With utility, of course, but just running in with these AKs, because what happens when you take a timeout like this is that the team on the CT side, on the receiving side, says, okay, what are they going to throw at us? What kind of intricate strategy are they going to do now? Because they have this pause, they're talking about it, they have time, and then you just hit them with a straight up B push. Let's see what Fallen decides to do. Of course, Fallen, a way better mind at CS than I am. So he'd probably have something like that or even better prepared for us. Let's have a look.
Definitely not B push. No AWP right now for SK. They haven't had one in a while. The rifles have been working brilliantly. Mo's gone for the mid-aggression once again. He's been fully flashed. It's given them time to push up. Finds one through the smoke. Tries to overstay his welcome just a little bit, and the flash comes through from his teammate. He's going to get his center railing back. The trade doesn't come in. In the meantime, Adrena would have got to take one more. So damage being done to SK early on, but it's still early days. And Mo going to try and extend his hand out towards long, but Fur is ready and waiting. And now Fitch. Gonna step up to the plate, catches Fur unaware, Fur goes up with the flick, and Fitch, I'm so glad he landed that.
And Trent is very pushed up in the connector while the last two players of SK are situated on short toilets and in the connector towards that short position. So Adren could technically, as soon as they spot something on short, rotate and backstab both of these players. But it's still a 4v2, so definitely very winnable round from Gambit, who have dealt with this default coming in from SK very, very nicely. Coldzera, last man standing. Dren is coming in the back, and Fitch takes it all in control. Triple from him. So what SK Gaming tried to do there was just to take the time out to make Gambit think about things, and then they just roll out a standard default towards A. It doesn't really work for them in the end because Mo goes for this aggressive peek to shut the aggression down early on, and then just rotate around that. I don't really like the peek coming out of toilets towards long because you know that I think that was Coldzera always going to have that angle every single time, and he's going to win that duel every single time. But Gambit now stepping back into the game, 4 rounds on their side of things, but to the 9 of SK. So this is still a very, very good half, very good T side from SK.
And Nade from Hobbit able to find the first. It's aggression from Adren down through short. Mako going to take the peek in, but Doja picks that one up. Adren's aggression pays off, and this is Gambit throwing down the gauntlet. They're trying to take the fight to SK, and it is paying off for them right now. In the blink of an eye, Fallen and Cold, that's all that remains for SK in this round. And probably just going to see them look to try and save, take this into the next, because when we look at the economy on the side of SK, we can see if they save up these 2 weapons, they can feel the buy to the next round. You can see Coldzera drop a gun on over to Phelps. Fallen's going to have some extra cash lying around as well. And they keep the AWP, but they're not going to go easy on the aggression just yet. There's no brakes on this train. As Fallen starts to walk in, reads the situation perfectly, and that is going to be Doja biting the dust. 2v4, and with that frag, that's now the temptation being too much here for SK. They're going to try and go for this. There's still 2 more players lying in wait. Fallen's flashed. Cole going to come in and try and support him here. Tom misses its mark. It allows Adren to pick this one up. Cole doesn't manage to get the trade. Adren comes in with 3. That's the hat-trick. And Gambit, they're going to go 5-9. Last round of the half coming on in, and it's going to be a very, very bare bones one for SK in comparison to what they're used to. When you look at it, Fallen, he's gone glass cannon, doesn't have anything behind this AWP. Phelps having to sacrifice any firepower he could have for the UMP, and even then doesn't have nades to show for it.
We have to appreciate, though, the reset that has come in from Gambit here in the last 2 rounds, because they lost 5 rounds in a row and they looked very lost. Then they came in, reset completely, got SK down, and now forced them into this round where they don't have a lot of utility or weaponry behind them. And it's a few teams in the world that can actually manage to get behind against SK and then just say to themselves, okay, let's focus on our game, let's get back into it and just win a couple of rounds straight back in it. And if Gambit wins this one as well, and if they can snatch the pistol here, they have a decent chance of evening this one out and get it to 9-9 in just a few minutes' time here. Boost on the bomb site. Doesn't really work out for Gambit, and Dren rotates back. Still a very anxious default from SK right now. They don't want to throw anything away. They want to make absolutely sure that if they take a duel, it's going to be a duel that they can win, and a duel they can build on. Right now the double stack towards short is the name of the game. Fallen with the AWP.
That was so close.
I thought we had that.
That was incredibly close, but not quite. Fitch, spared, lives to fight another day. He could come out from Mo. He was going to miss his shots. Both the AWPers not stepping up. Instead, it's Phelps with that UMP. Finds the first.
They're not pushing in, though.
Yeah, they're going to go in a double back round in towards the B site. First, the man on the entry picks up Doja, and that's B. Cracked wide open. Gambit have to rotate back round. Hobbit, the first man on the scene, walks blissfully into Fur and wins that duel out. He's going to go ahead and take the aggression into the site. This way he keeps the pressure on. He can deny the bomb plant from here. Mo is going to fall. Here's the bomb plant coming on in. It is all going to fall onto Hobbit. 1v3 takes the first, goes back for more, but Phelps shuts him down, and that is SK to reach a 10th round, 10-5. A very, very intense, explosive first half, as we would expect when we see these two teams going head-to-head. And now moving into the second. What do you think Gambit are going to need to do, Riz, to get back into this one?
First of all, they need to win the pistol. That's pretty obvious by now. I'm kind of wondering what they're going to throw at SK Gaming, because we know they play a very, very solid CT side as well. So I'm definitely looking to see some new stuff coming out, some innovative stuff coming out of Gambit, and just to Fitch, pretty much at Fitch, because he's been my player to watch so far with this tournament. He's played so well. Of course, I expected something, knowing him, of course, from before, and knowing that now he's on Gambit, and this is his time to shine. This is his time to make a name for himself. He's still on a trial basis. He's not signed fully to Gambit. He's still on trial. So this is his time to just stand up and say, okay, I need a spot on this team. I deserve a spot on this team. And he's been good throughout the tournament. Now they're behind against SK. If they win this one, they go straight to the semifinals. This is where Fitch just needs to get set up, buy some flashbangs, maybe the ones those you have purchased now, and just burst into a bomb site, just clean house. Cold Zero, interestingly, going for the CZ75 nade combo on the CT side. He actually really liked this, unless he plays alone. If he plays with another one who can come in with a revenge frag after he gets the first one, then it could actually work out really well for him. But let's see here, Cold Zero opens up all alone, only trades 1-for-1. That's the problem with playing CZ75 close range without another CT to come in and help you, because then you're doomed after that first frag. So now they have the CZ.
This is where that aggression from Phelps does come in handy, but Adren, he's been allowed to sneak all the way through. Fur caught completely off guard. It's Phelps who has to try and step up now, takes the first, gets caught unaware, and Adren manages to pick him off from long. Fallen and Taco, all that remain here. 2v3, only a one-man advantage for Gambit. We've seen them lose with more.
That's true.
So
Adren once again having such a good round.
They have to try and play this one carefully. Doja's got a boatload of utility. Look how much he's been able to pick up. Can we make it his way in towards the B-bomb site, throwing in everything he can, and he doesn't find any damage. Still has one flashbang left over. Can facilitate this after plant. Fallen's making his way in. That's bomb dropped. Fallen, not again. Turns it into the 2-on-2. He's alone within the site. Doesn't have support from Taco, who is coming on round. Drop the bomb. They've had to take the engagements here. They've only just been allowed to get Adren up and into the site, but Fallen still being such a nuisance. He's going to go ahead and dink Hobbit in through the plywood,
Taco's
so he's taken in low. And then Taco comes in from behind. The judge, jury, and executioner as he looks to try and shut this one down. Hobbit 1v2. Starts to peek on him, plays it around the pillar, finds one, isolates the engagement, and now it is just Fallen.
Doesn't have a kit.
1v1. Has to be fast here. This round could elude them on the basis of timing alone. And once again, it's another 1v1, a 1v1 that never should have been. Hobbit peeking up from short, going to take the engagement, spots him out down in pit. There's no time left here, it is going to be Fallen. Finds the frag, going to go for the defuse. He's got himself a kit, though, picks it up from short. There's going to be just enough time left. No! Off by a couple of seconds, SK lose out on that round. And that is Gambit to pick up the pistol. That was incredibly close. Milliseconds left on that one.
That was insane. Of course, Fallen able to pick off the kit off his dead comrade. But as you say, milliseconds away from getting that defuse. And that's not the first time we've seen a defuse come in and not make it today. It was heartbreaking the last time around. And it's heartbreaking once again. Hobbit with the MAC-10. I said they needed to win the gun round, or the pistol round, if you will. They've done that. Now, can they grind these rounds back? Last time around, we saw Gambit bounce straight back with this pistol buy. See if SK can make the same thing work. 3 CZs, 2 Desert Eagles. Flashbang and a smoke. Behind it, no kits. So they need to win the duels here. Opening duel, won by Adren, who has been consistent so far. Not at the level as we saw him at the major, but he's still at 12-12, despite being behind with 4 rounds. Smoke coming in here from the Gambit side.
Takes the peek and it's going to go unchecked. He's allowed to duck back in around the corner, and Doja Manages to shut him down. The rotate now coming up through connector. As you see, Phelps and Coldzera are going to go charging into the waiting gun. But Taco, what are you doing? He takes himself two. That's the bomb drop. Man over at long. That's Doja. Phelps in the back line. Starts to push through the smoke. Will be decapitated. But Taco, there's just no stopping him. Turns it into a 1v1. He's got 17 HP. And Adren making his way in with the AK. Taco's aim has been fantastic, and now it's going to be just that once again. Takes the peak round, but Adren finds the frag. Another nail biter of a round, but Gambit just managed to clinch the win there. 7-10, but so much damage done. Look at this from Taco. This is a man who's in his element with the Deke. We don't get the third, but I can assure you it was just as spectacular.
Taco with a 3K and then Adren to wrap it up with a 4K as well. What a round coming in from both teams here. Such an exciting game and such a great way to end day one here, because these two teams are probably, in my opinion, apart from Astralis and maybe FaZe, if they make it work, two of the most exciting teams to watch in Counter-Strike right now. Gambit, of course, coming off their major win. New player coming in. Zeus is out. SK Gaming, we all wanted them to win that major, and here we go. Hopping into the fray. 1, 2, 3. Maybe even 4 eco frags. Not going to happen. And it's going to be all on Taco with the USPS, of course. No chance. It's just an eco. Farmed up by Hobbit. Gonna have a lot of money after this one. Damage being done, but not quite. Adren goes down to 35%.
Boost your CSGO skins on onlyboost.com.
Comes in for Gambit. 8-10 now, and here comes the buy from SK. Will Gambit have enough to withstand this on this T side? Or will SK take it and start their reign on the CT side here as well? We know how good Fallen is on these peaks, but he's without any utility right now on this CT orb. The rest of the team lacking a bit. Fur only with a smoke. Coldzera only with a flashbang. So they're definitely not in an optimal spot right now, SK, to win this. And they have forced up in this one. They're still going to get money bonus, so they're still going to be able to do something if they lose this, but Gambit is just on a roll on this T side so far. With the 3 rounds won. If they can extend this to 4, SK Gaming are going to have a hard time.
Let's not forget, those 3 rounds were all coming off the back of that pistol round victory. Now the going gets tough for Gambit. SK gonna have those rifles in hand. Fallen's on the orb. Gambit, they're taking this slowly this time. They've got 2 players down in connector. They're going to rotate them out. Hobbit looking like he's going to go ahead and watch the approach up through B in case SK try to hand it some aggression. Fallen lies in wait out on A though. Gonna be checking down into toilets. Right now, 4 players about to come peeking out through mid. There's a lone man over at long, that is Mo. And spots the Molotov, holds the angle. Doja is going to be spared for the time being. Lining up the smokes and flashes now, ready to head on in towards the A-bomb site. They're going to start to rain on through. The rotates coming in from SK. Gambit just going to go ahead and commit to this one. The smokes divide the site in half. Adren, first man to pick up a frag, but Fallen trying to do all he can. Backed into a corner. He's going to fall prey to Fitch on that peak. Cold rotating on in, able to take one more. Leaves us in a 2v3. And SK looking like they want to try and go for this one. The rotate coming in from Taco. It's going to take a while. But Cole has been given a lot of ground here to play with.
Yeah, they know exactly where both of the CTs are coming now. Hobbit has cleared the back ankle, and now they play defensively and long and short, waiting for the CTs to peak, waiting for that diffuse sound to come in.
Yeah, they've grabbed the op. They're just going to go ahead and save.
Yeah,
time too far gone.
Good choice from SK in my opinion here. Without a kit, without any smoke for the bomb, without any flashes to win that opening duel, it's very hard to win a round like this. So Gambit once again, get a round done, but still something saved from SK. It's not the end of the world. And they're actually pretty close to each other here. Spamming coming in, but no kills. 9-10 now, Harry. Gambit are about to tie us all up. And look at their economy. Being able to buy everything they want. Some players with around 4K after buy as well. SK Gaming on the other side of the board. Tables have been flipped because they're on 3 FAMASas. 1 AWP without utility, and 1 M4. Only 1 kit as well. Usually want to have at least 2 kits, 1 for each bomb site.
Yeah, something just seeming to have clicked right now for Gambit. As they storm forward, get themselves that 4th. The collateral for Fallen, though. That's the turning point in this round found very early on. As He opens up in a big way, as Fallen so often does. He's a man who loves to deliver big on his promises. And now he's going to go ahead, lie in wait down in middle, over at long. Fitch is there. Hobbit's clearing out toilet. Fallen takes the peek, gets the information, going to lose his teammate down in toilets. Gambit's still looking unsure as to whether or not they want to commit to this. They have gone and sent Hobbit up aggressive bombs over at long, so it looks like it is going to be the A play. Bomb now starting to fall back. There's still time left if they wanted to rotate on off. That's why we see the aggression coming in from Taco down towards short. Look at Fitch, he's so far up within this site. Finds the first on a Colt. Phelps going to be there to get the trade. And now the remaining players start to make their way in. Fallen's already got 2. Only fired 1 bullet thus far. Phelps continues taking the peak, finishes things off with the FAMAS, and there we go, SK. They're right back into this one, 11-9. Look at this.
What a shot.
Could have been 3. That's all I'm thinking.
Still a great round from SK coming in there. And the way that they just pulled off the perfect CT hold after having that double man advantage in the beginning. They place 1 aggressively to get info, or maybe even trade 1 for 1, and they play Fallen towards that truck position. The perfect timing as well, Phelps pushing there. He knows there's the smoke coming down towards bank, so the terrorist thinks that that area is clear, and when that smoke blooms, he pushes out and just catches him off guard. Nice double coming in from him in the end. Buy around for both teams right now. Lacking a bit of utility now on the T side. Have now purchased, or used all the money to purchase weapons and grenades. This is make or break bank-wise for Gambit. Fallen aggressive. In connector, gets it. He's so good, so versatile. Close range, long range, it doesn't matter. Fallen can do everything.
Yeah, Gambit, they've got no response to that. Going to keep pushing on up. In the meantime, first taking the aggression up through long. Doja does lie in wait. There's a man rotating around to try and join him in the form of Mo, but Mo's got the knife out. Doja peeks into the arms of Fur. Incendiaries off, falls back, has Fallen to cover the angle, and that's the man advantage extended that much further here.
Boost your CSGO skins on HolyBoost.com.
Prey walk his way as he hones in down the scope. Hobbit actually decides to fade away from that position. Oh, Fallen spotted that. Mo is there, he's got himself the AWP in hand. He's the man to try and contend with Fallen. Fitch is pushed up close as well, having towards Flowerbed. Bomb now rotating around. Fallen takes the peek. Finds that first frag. That's Fitch to hit the deck. Bomb already starting its rotation back. They've realized that Fallen is a barrier they just can't overcome. And now they're going to try their hand at B, but Taco taking it aggressive.
No time.
No time. Goodbye. Gambit. Just save up the AK and AWP out of this round. SK going to go 12-9 up.
Hobbit actually does catch out Taco in the end, but at this point, if you're Gambit, I'm kind of wondering if you just decide to just go straight up B because Fallen is just on A and you can do nothing to stop him whatsoever. So maybe a quick B play would be the key here, but then again, they have a round where it's 1900 and 2000 on 3 of the players, and then AK and AWP saved for the rest, so it's going to be C said, AK AWP. Not a lot of utility behind it, so probably not the best scenario to go for a straight-up B play here. Probably looking at the B default with 2 guys in connector, trying to take map control and then execute around 1 minute with these limited grenades that they have. And let's see if that's going to happen. Taco trying to push out, and he has a gap in the smoke. Off camera, he actually gets one. Really nice use of a gap in the smoke.
The real issue here, right, is Fur. He's already all the way up through mid. He's got all the information. They know it's the B play. Taco does find some damage. Phelps tries to step up, but actually the frag's going to go their way. Cold. Oh, fully blind is going to fall prey to Adren, but now this play from Fur going to be worth its weight in gold. Doja sticks the plant. He won't be able to deny it. But in a way, that could be perfect for them. They're not suspecting of this. He spotted the first on the Doja. Adren can't quite flick round. And Fur wins that one out, 1v2. It just feels like a constant deja vu at this point. Every single time SK are in that 1v2 scenario, one of them steps up massively. He's looking for any nades and a pistol, I think, at this point.
Yeah, he has plenty
Trying
of time.
to make it worth his, worth his time. Defuse going to come on in. Wouldn't it be awful if he mistimed it?
Yeah, that would be pretty awful. But absolutely gutted, like Gambit right now. they should have won that round. I was absolutely sure after the entry came in from Taco here, and they came back after that. They kind of denied the entry, the advantage that Taco gave them. Then this 1v2, just it hadn't even crossed their mind that he could be coming in from Monster, just flanked him like that, and he just makes it happen nonetheless. Gambit making mistakes, and those mistakes could cost them the game right now.
I mean, you say they didn't suspect that, but SK have given them no reason to. We haven't seen any aggression from SK on the CT side just yet, and then suddenly they go into it, and that's why SK are kind of so good at just making these quick adaptations and catching their opponent off guard. So now for Gambit, they're onto the Force. They made their way through Connector. Taco's up short, going to be throwing a spanner in the works as he finds two. Adren and Fitch, they're both down and out for the count. Now the rest of the guys pushing in through Monster, but the real issue going to be Phelps up in the heavens. Drops down to try and send them into the fiery depths of hell. Flashes himself in, takes the peek. Mo's caught off guard. Damage done. He's the last man left alive. Does manage to take the first, but the flank once again. Good night. As SK 14-9. Has been that kind of classic switch in the Brazilians. They hit that moment where you can tell that they are honed in on the finishing line. Yeah,
even though the scoreline says 9-14, I think this match has been a lot closer. Let's be real. 3 clutches that should not have gone in the way of SK went in the way of SK in this type of scenario. And now Gambit going for the decision that, okay, we could either save and play for OT, or we can buy a Force right now and just try to take this 16-14. And they're trying to force it right now, allowing SK Gaming to come on 15 and face them on a pistol Force in the last round, if that so happens. Doja on a CZ 75, the rest of the team on rifles with armor. Of course, Doja dropping his. Limited utility. And Fur pushing aggressively towards long here. I think he is there. Actually has some kind of idea here. Fallen pushes aggressively, takes out Adren. Surely Fur wins that as well. And all of a sudden, 5v3. This is looking grim for Gambit.
Yeah, the real issue here is Fitch is so far up mid, all on his own. Doja's rotating him, but he's going to get caught off guard from Fur coming in from long. Timing does actually allow him to cross. Bomb lies in wait down here in B. Rest of the guys for Gambit in toilets, and they're going to try and fake this out, but it could get shut down in its entirety from Furry. Here's the players rotating on round, and good night, boys. They're going to be walking into the crosshair. It's a slaughter in mid. Hobbit's the last man left, 1v5. He dropped the bomb, which already sets us off on a very negative tone.
Yeah, he couldn't
look at this from SK. They're just swarming down through mid. They've got the double boost as well.
He's actually going to get the plant
connector. That's not write him out just yet then. A lone Hobbit. 1v5. Gonna go ahead and smoke this off. Oh, it's not looking good. Doesn't get the bomb plant. Takes the peek out. Taco is gonna fall. More damage to do. Actually gets 2 before Cole finds the frag. 15-9. Match point now for SK, trying to secure their spot in the semi-finals.
Of course, Gambit will have some money here.
Oh, that was too violent for TV.
Too violent, of course, getting shot down. But as I said, Gambit are going to have money. They're going to be able to buy something. But then again, it's not the perfect buy that you want in this kind of round where your back is against the wall. You're up against SK, you have 15 and you're only on 9. Once again, Doja is the one to drop his weapon. Only play with the Desert Eagle. The rest of the team, once again, on unlimited utility. And they need they need that opening peak to go their way. Fur down to 2 HP from the grenades. Very unlucky that they don't get that one going. Fur could have been down and out for now, but he survives, and even though he's not going to be able to take the duel, the info is crucial.
Yeah, this is the defining moment for Gambit, and it all comes down for this. They're not going for some grand
Boost your CSGO skins on HolyBoost.com.
Push into A. Fur has fallen. He was the man on 3 HP, but speaking of fallen, he's going to reside over at long. He's going to go down to Doja with the Dirty Deeg, and now it's Phelps up close. They're going to run by past him, and Phelps steps on up, takes 2. Looks for a third, spotted out, but Hobbit does manage to find him, and thank God for that. Gambit going to go charging in towards the A bomb site. Goldterra and Taco. Doja, you can't miss these. Now he's got himself the Deeg in hand. We've seen him land 1. Cold's the man to try and contend this. Hobbit's rotated around to try and get this trade, but now they lose Mo, and this round could slip through their fingertips. The timing was perfect, but Doja lands the shot. And now it's Taco. We haven't seen him 1v2 yet, but we've seen almost everyone else from SK manage to do it. This round is pivotal for Gambit. This could be the start of their comeback. Hobbit once again gets caught out in the open, but Doja saves him. The double peak prevails. And that is going to be Gambit to get themselves a 10th.
finally getting on the board after 5 rounds of dominance from SK Gaming, but still they have 5 more to go. And could we be blessed with another overtime here? I don't think it's very likely, but a man can always dream. That's SK Gaming, of course. In this kind of situation, they don't want to force fully. Just buying down to around 3k so they know that they can get 100% a full buy in the next one. And just seeing if they can get whatever in this one. CSET 75s and actually UMP 45 armor, full armor on Phelps. Fur going for the MP9 as well. So they have something going for them in this one, but it's nowhere near a good buy here. So definitely saving for the next one. SK Gaming know that they have 5 rounds to play with. Or 4. If they want to get that win. Hobbit takes down the first one. Taco going down.
Fetch is going to go walking in here. There is 2 players posted up. He comes in and Phelps able to find it. Now he's got himself Galil to try and play with. The UMP thrown across to his teammate, who I don't actually think grabbed it in the end. Just gonna leave that.
We're going to have this B bomb site for free. Question is, what do the SK Gaming want to do here?
I mean, look at this. They've already rotated everyone in. They're going to try and employ the boost. And if this works, which it very well could, the timing there would have been perfect. But they're messing up. Fallen. Get that man up on your head. Doesn't work out. And now Phelps and Fallen. They fluff the boost. Coldzera tries to do what he can from heaven, but instead gets relegated down to hell. And now Phelps is not looking too healthy. He's been tagged very low here. And Fur's far away. They're just going to opt to try and save. Makes sense. I'm not boding too much confidence in Phelps here, staying alive much longer.
Yeah, he's probably going to go down here.
Oh, there you go. It's going to be Gambit to get themselves an 11th. They live to fight another day, and we've seen an epic comeback earlier on. We saw it come back through to OT when SK manages to come back versus Maus earlier on, and they went flawless in the overtime. Will we see Gambit do something similar? They've dragged us through now 11 to 15. Still an uphill battle, though, as the buy now comes in for SK.
It's close to perfect. The only thing you could ask for is an M4 on Coldzera instead of the FAMAS. A bit more utility and then 2 kits. But compared to the last round, it's definitely a way better setup.
I mean, you say that it's much better, but they don't have a kit.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's a huge problem. If that bomb goes down, which Gambit have been fairly good at doing on their T side,
but comparing it to the last round where they had the UMP 45 and MP9, it's definitely a better setup. Smoke's going down towards that A bomb site. And Fur just shuts it down once again. He's so good at taking these off angles and just shutting down the aggression coming in from Gambit. Fallen also rather close with the AWP. Doesn't see anything and decides to rotate back with his teammate.
Yeah, right now Gambit, they're going to be taking a walk through the park. Exactly what they're hoping this round is for them. They've already lost Ozia. Going to be doubling back over here towards B, sending everyone round, loading all their eggs into one basket, and B has been relatively successful for them. Lining up the smokes and flashes. The real issue being now is that they've rotated a 3rd man on round already. That's going to be Phelps posted up. First man to break contact is Taco, but he's going to get his face broken in the process. Cole tries to step up, but Mo goes ahead and shuts him down. Phelps, the extra man within B, has to step up massively here. Gets spotted out. They know that he's there, but he's just buying time at this point for the rest of SK to start to fold on in behind him. Adren picks that up. Fallen and Fur, they're the 2 that are left, and these 2 have been the clutch kings for SK, but they're going to play it safe. Opt to fall back. Gambit, going to be hounding them here, taking the aggression. Fallen has to be careful.
He's just holding it, trying to take the exit, and he does. Shuts down Adren, and will probably be safe here. Bring that all into the next round as Fur takes down another one. Hunting Gambit player, that's Hobbit this time around. Gambit gonna get on 12. And SK Gaming, they don't have a lot of money to force around this. So I'm interested in seeing what their game plan is going to be for now. Going to be around 2-4, 2-6 on the players who doesn't have a weapon, but they're going to go ahead and drop something and still get a buy around this. Before that happens, they're going to take a timeout. Tactical pause coming in from SK. just to make sure that everything is on point here, planning out all the rotations and small little deals they have on the bomb sites to make sure that everyone knows exactly what's going on. Because this is a round that potentially could secure them a spot in the semi-finals. Here, I do have a decent
Boost
buy.
your CSGO skins on HolyBoost.com.
Still missing a couple of kits, as we mentioned before. A huge deal.
Yeah.
And they don't have it going right now, once again.
Well, they're going to see how they're going to conduct themselves into this one, where they will be stationed, and if they can punch their ticket to the semi-finals. Probably about all the train puns I could get in there.
You're doing really well with the puns so far.
Well, what can I say? You know, I've cracked them all out. Figured 250k event. Let's go. Let's really give it my all.
That's what you prepared for this, just a list of puns.
Yeah. So here we go, heading into the what could be the definitive moment here. SK, they're coming off the back of a pause. 3 players for Gambit already up into Park. Dren gonna now look to join them. Some aggression from Hobbit early on, just to see if he could find anyone there in the spam through to short. Hasn't managed to get anything. Gambit, they're grouped up over here at long. They've left Dren to push out through mid while the remaining players start to make their way up through long. And right now, that boost going to be employed from SK. Fallen's taking the aggression down here towards Connector, and this could be a starting point for them.
Yeah, he has a feeling the Hobbit is in there. He knows that something's up in the Connector. Does rotate away. And he's getting a lot of information from short right now. He sees nothing, and Fur picking up that frag on short. They have to rotate at least the play on the B bomb side back towards A. Nothing is telling them that this is going to be a B hit.
Yeah, they're just going to be continuing this aggression up through long. Fur's so far pushed up as well. He can shy out. Hobbit does win that duel, and now the last 2 players come running on in. Fitch able to find 2, looking for the 3rd. Could make this a reality, but no. Fur finds the frag, and SK, they will win this one out, 16-12. It was looking for a minute there that Gambit had started to pave that road to the comeback, but not quite. Just what a way to close out this first day. I think that was fantastic. That's all we could have possibly asked for. SK looking fantastic. Yeah. Gambit as well. I'm excited
Boost your CSGO skins on HolyBoost.com.
A couple of issues. They were very, very quick to fix that. SK just were the better team. I don't think there's any denying that.
That's such a good game as well. And the clutches that were won by SK, I think that's kind of the difference maker in this one. Those 3 2v1s that were won by SK. Because if they hadn't...
There you go. Fallen's a happy man. Can't say I blame him.
That's nice. But if they didn't win those and Gambit won those rounds that they should have won, the whole game would have been different. The whole like,
getting the hell out
flow
of here.
of the
They're
game. And now, like, we're in a situation where SK can take that win and now go into the semifinals.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that gives them momentum they need to keep kind of wrecking. I'm also excited to see VP. You know, they've looked good. They've looked like they're back in form. So seeing how those 2 teams do is always going to be exciting. But let's go over to everyone's favorite, analyst dads over at the desk.
Thank you very much. Yes, and well done. Commentary team's done for the night. Harry, GG, of course, and risking our final game. And SK do make it safely through to the semi-finals. Didn't make it easy for themselves in either of their games today, did they? But let's find out what the thoughts are of our 2 panel members. Back with Lupus and Thorin. Lupus, I guess, you know, inevitably you look at the scoreboard. Anyone that missed the games today will just come in and go, SK won the group. Yeah, makes about right sense. But that wasn't really the story, was it?
No, not at all. In fact, I would argue that in the game that we just saw against Gambit, Gambit was the one that you could have built a case for winning the game. Yeah. They lost 3 1v2, 2v1s in the first half, I think. One in the second half. All of them were ones that, if you play them over 10 times, I think they definitely win more often than not. Sure. And those were the ones that swung the first half from something like 8-7 for Gambit to 5-10 all of a sudden. Yeah. So I mean, I was very impressed by Gambit, even though SK ended up winning in the end.
Yeah, it wasn't easy for them. They had to grind that one out. But you made the point earlier that champions often do that. They just grind the games out they need to win, and that's another one that they've done.
Yeah, and plus, when it is SK Gaming, you can't always be like, oh, but we lost. It's just the clutches we lost. Yeah, well, they actually renowned as the most clutch team in the world, arguably. You know, Fallen can be having a bad game, always comes through in the clutch, as he did a couple of times here. I think, it was poise from SK that won them this match. They weren't necessarily the better team overall. Gambit got themselves in some very favourable positions. It was quite an impressive loss in some senses. I also think another factor is, this is the first game I've seen where Fitch did kind of go off the boil a bit. He was just all right in this one, you know. Yeah, Hobbit had his moments. Obviously, Dren actually had some pretty big ones. But yeah, there was some weird moves at times. Then again, though, like I say, when you're as clutch as SK is, it's not really just a fluke that you have a crazy timing that catches people off guard. Like Fur, we said in that game against Mouse, he never really was there in that game, especially on the CT side. He made a lot of mistakes. He was fantastic on the CT side. Every time he did a push-up to flank, you could tell he had comms from eyes from the other guys. He would always make the right timing push, and he would get like 2 people. So if you can have that level of impact, it's going to be hard to beat you.
Yeah, and they also managed to mix things up as well, didn't they, Tommy? They weren't just, they were very passive from round to round and round, and then suddenly they just exploded. They like turned on the gas or something and just decided, right, we're going to be really aggressive now. And I don't feel like we maybe saw that earlier on against Mousesports. We saw a lot more of that today.
I think also Overpasses fits that style of play better. I mean, Fer was doing a lot of what Magus used to do for Dignitas late last year, was pushing up in the middle area. Actually, where Fallen used to play much more aggressively in the past. So some changes maybe there. They played in the connector area fairly aggressively at times. They took over water. But really, I think the one thing that sticks to mind from the CT side, SK just played were the pushes that Fer had. It just flanked the whole map basically, and those couple of those clutches retaking the B side that really just wound up turning the first half around.
Well, I think that's actually one element stylistically when you look at the way it played out that maybe played against Gambit. Even though Gambit, I have to say, especially with Adrena's the in-game leader, have a lot more fast tactics. Like they even get in a position a lot quicker. You know, they don't do that slow walk up. On the rounds where they did go really slow, that's where all the SK flanks came in, and the fact that Gambit traditionally is that slow team, they don't watch the flank actually. Right. They rely on the fact that maybe with Zeus, you know, maybe you make the right call as to when you do that, and you don't have to worry about that. But they would never have that guy looking behind them, and they would get caught out each time. Admittedly, a very hard move to pull off.
Yeah, absolutely. In the end, we got what we thought we would get. I guess we'll just wrap things up for the whole day. It's been the first day ever of ESG Tour. What have you made of it? What's been the highlight today?
Oh, it's good to see Virtus.Pro getting some wins back on the board. I mean, they're now in the semis, and they're going to be facing, I would say, most likely Gambit, but could also well be Mousesports in the semifinals on Saturday. Yeah. And SK obviously also in the semifinals, but they were the clear favorites that we thought. I thought Mousesports looked promising. Gambit, like we said previously. Liquid too, really.
No.
So
surprising amount of teams, perhaps.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's. Yeah. It seems like everybody's come to play to some extent.
Was that the biggest surprise for you, Duncan? Was that they weren't distracted by the pools and the games and the fun and the love?
It was a bigger surprise when the set fell on my head 3 seconds into the show. Wasn't expecting that, quite frankly. Luckily, it was just a 10. It wasn't like a steel girder or something, you know.
I don't think this is the right time to tell you. We planned that as the opening, but
I see.
Yeah, because we thought, helicopter ride coming in, starting the show off the helicopter. Yeah, it was cool, but we needed something that could hit front page of Reddit.
For the next ESG, we've got to top it. So what we're going to do is it's like PUBG. We've got to actually jump out of a plane and parachute down and then land here, you know.
Do we get kit bags to go through when we land?
With bandages if you land and get injured,
right,
you know.
Okay, we'll probably need them.
I have to say, from watching the games today, SK and Gambit, their games were fantastic. They were all really exciting. Yeah. I actually really hope from the way it goes at the moment, I hope we see these two in the final. I think that would actually be the best matchup. It looks like it's a very interesting dynamic there. Gambit certainly didn't look afraid of them, you know. Yeah. But SK really pushed them their limits. I think if both play to the level they've shown today, we could have that final.
All right, sounds like a good note to finish. Thank you very much, gents. We are done for day one of ESG Tour Mykonos, presented by Betway. Big thanks to our sponsors, Betway being the premier sponsor of the event, of course, alongside PvPro, Steel Series, Need for Seat, and our friends at Twitch as well. That is it. Day one is done. But if you missed it, why not stay a little longer and relive some of the finest moments from day one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Boost your CSGO skins on onlyboost.com.